Ang math ay easy lang. Basta't alam mo kung paano sumunod sa mga rules and regulations nito. Ako po si Ma'am Carol, isang guro ng mathematics.
Hello mga kamath! Ang video natin ngayon ay tungkol sa one-to-one functions at inverse functions. Let's start with one-to-one function. A one-to-one function is a function in which no two elements have the same image. To illustrate, meron tayong example. This one, show that the equation y is equal to 8x minus 3 is a one-to-one function. We will have several ways to show that this equation is a one-to-one function. Let's start with the tabular form. Sa tabular form, ay mamimili lang tayo ng ilang values na isa-substitute natin sa x, and then we will compute it to be able to get the value of y. So, I have chosen negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. So, starting with negative 2, we have 8 times negative 2 is negative 16, minus 3 is negative 19. And then, if we are going to substitute x with negative 1, 8 times negative 1 is negative 8. Negative 8 minus 3 is negative 11. Ito yon. And then, if we substitute it with 0, 8 times 0 is 0, minus 3, that's negative 3. And then, if we substitute it with 1, 8 times 1 is 8, minus 3 is 5. And then, finally, if we substitute it with 2, 8 times 2 is 16, 16 minus 3 is 13. From the tabular form with 5 values of x, we can see that there is only one value of y for each value of x. So, dito napakita natin na 1-to-1, di ba? Isang value nito may katapat na isa lang na value ng y. Okay? So, that's one way. The second way is the geometric or graphic representation. So, ito yon, gumamit ako ng GeoGebra na diniscuss ko na last time kung paano gamitin, 'di ba? And then nakapag-generate tayo ng graph na straight line, ito tong nakaslant na ito. And we know for a fact na kapag straight line, there will be no curve na aakyat pa ulit. And one-to-one siya. It clearly indicates that for every value of x, there's only one corresponding value of y. In accordance with that, meron tayong tinatawag na horizontal line test wherein padadaanan mo ng horizontal line yung graph at makikita mo na yung horizontal line na red ay isa lang yung mai-intersect niya dun sa mismong graph. So, let's try. O, diba? So, talagang one-to-one siya kasi wala nang iba pang dinaan. Kasi kung curve yan at dumaan tayo ng horizontal, mayroon yan dalawang points na madadaanan. But it seems na isa lang talaga. So, that's an example kung paano i-test ang one-to-one function. The last way is by algebraic solution. So, ang gagawin mo daw, you try to see kung yung x na ito ay pinalitan natin ng isa at another one, i-test natin kung equal siya kung ito ay papalitan natin ng another number. Okay, so at this particular equation, ito may question mark siya. Ibig sabihin, we are testing if this expression is equal to this, making x two different values, no? So, by algebraic way, para malaman natin kung equal nga, alisin muna natin tong mga negative 3. So, we have to add 3 on both sides of the equation. This cancels out. Kaya pagdating dito, wala na yung mga 3. And then, we divide both sides by 8. Okay, so, nung na-divide siya, x1 is equal to x2. Meaning, hindi pwede silang maging magkaibang value. So, yung x1 dito, dapat parehong value siya ng x2 para siya masabi na one-to-one function. So, ibig sabihin, hindi pwedeng magkaroon ng dalawang value ng x dito to get the value of y. Okay, so 1-to-1 lang siya. So, yung next topic natin ay about inverse function. Ang definition ay inverse function which is denoted by f to the negative 1. Take note guys, yung negative 1 dito sa taas ay hindi siya exponent, okay? It is a symbol na parang sinasabi niya the complement of f or the inverse of f, okay? F raised to the negative 1. So, it's not an exponent. The entire thing is the symbol for the inverse function. So, is the inverse of the one-to-one function f if the domain of f is the range of the inverse function and the domain of the inverse function is the range of the function. So, anong ibig sabihin nun? So, let's do again yung example natin na y is equal to 8x minus 3. To compute for the inverse function of y, ito, yung inverse nito, ang gagawin nyo lang ay napakasimple. Pagpapalitin mo lang yung position nila. So, ito magiging x at ito magiging y. Just like what happened here. Okay? And then, i-compute natin. Di ba lagi naman yung y nag-iisa lang? So, we will transfer everything dun sa left side para may kasama si x. So, ang una natin ginawa here is to add 3 plus 3 on both sides of the equation so that this one would cancel out. Di ba? Tinan nyo, mawawala siya. At napunta na dun sa kabila yung 3. So, ito yung nangyari noon. So, when we added positive 3 on both sides of the equation, the negative 3 and the positive 3 cancels out, leaving 8y alone. And then, yung x na yung nagkaroon ng plus 3. So, this is what happened. And then, dahil sa meron pang 8 yan, kailangan i-divide natin both sides. Laging ganun na pantay. Kung ano yung ginawa mo sa left, yun din yung gagawin mo sa right. So, we will divide this by 8 and then we will divide this by 8. The reason for that is para mawala yung 8 na ito. So, it's the same thing as multiplying it with 1 over 8. So, we multiply 1 over 8 on the right side of the equation, which also what we did on the left side. So, nagkaroon ng denominator na 8 dito is equal to y na. Kasi nga, nalipat na natin lahat dun sa kabila. And of course, if we are going to do the convention o kung ano yung pangkaraniwan, syempre yung y laging nasa left side, diba? So, we will just reverse the position. So, y is equal to x minus 3. And that is the inverse function of y is equal to 8x minus 3. So, bali, ito yung f to the negative 1. Okay? So, there. Let's have another example on finding the inverse function. This time, this is a rational equation. Kasi yung nasa right side ay fraction, diba? So, meron siyang denominator. So, again, we are going to reverse the position of x and y. Ito na yon, napalitan na. So, take note, no? Yung y, naging x, at yung x, naging y na. And then, we will do the same thing. Kailangan ilipat natin yung lahat ng mga kasama ni y papunta doon sa x. So, dito iba naman yung strategy. So, since itong y ay nasa denominator, we do a cross multiplication. So, yung y minus 4 ilalagay natin dito sa kabila, tapos si x ilalagay natin sa denominator. And that's precisely what happened here. So, napunta na si y minus 4 on the left side of the equation and then si x napunta sa denominator. Okay? And then, again, aalisin natin yung mga kasama ni y kasi gusto natin mag-isa lang siya. Yun yung convention or kung ano yung pangkaraniwan. So, ang inverse ng minus 4 ay plus 4. So, we do plus 4 on both sides of the equation. That's why man-neutralize to, mawawala. The only thing that will remain is y. And then, ito na yung final niya. So, this equation, y is equal to 2 over x plus 4, is the inverse function of this. This is f. Y is equal to 2 over x minus 4. Okay? So, that ends our video on one-to-one and inverse functions. Sana makapag-solve kayo ng mga assignments na ibibigay sa inyo ng inyong mga teacher. So, thank you very much for watching and God bless.
Huwag niyo pong kalimutan na mag-like, subscribe, subscribe and share ng video nito. At kung meron pa po kayong mga gustong itanong o mga topics na dapat na i-discuss ko, please comment down below.